Hey, I'm Rob from JestaThaRogue.com, just with a quick Essen vlog about what happened and what I saw and all the things and stuff from 2022. So I started the day leaving straight from work and driving to Birmingham, where I stayed in a hotel at the airport overnight with a very nice view, I must say. Because I had an early flight to catch, so I got up first thing, got on the plane, took off from Birmingham, very nice flight, landed very safely in Dusseldorf Airport, got a flying train to the train station, which is always my favourite part of the trip. Then got a train to the convention centre, and I was rushing because I wanted to get there, drop my luggage off in a locker and get down to the press preview so that I could do some video with the press preview. So let's see how that went.
Hey, Rob here, just a quick one to say I'm apologising because the live stream isn't working at all. So rather than try and mess around, I'm just going to send this apology video. But the main thing to take away from it is component quality is up and dual layered boards are in. Everybody loves a dual layered board. As you can see, it's very busy. There's lots of games. I just wish I could have done more video while I was here, but I can't, I'm afraid. Sorry. Just outside the hall waiting to go in, and so far my live stream hasn't worked on the press preview. Again, I've left my credit card in the train ticket machine somewhere, so I've lost my credit card on day one, and I wouldn't be smiling, I'd be quite angry with myself, except I did the exact same thing 3 years ago. When I last came in 2019, I left my credit card in a train ticket machine. It's Friday morning and it's feeding time. Cool. So it's Friday morning, another brisk October morning here in Germany. It's very nice, all the deer having fun. I've just eaten as well. Pudding pretzels is my favourite. So yesterday, Thursday, the first day, I was very busy as always. Lots of people with suitcases, even though I'm pretty sure suitcases were banned. But they were still there anyway. I played 3 games. I played Terra, which is the game I wanted to play the most, really. It's the watered-down version of Terra Mystica, which, as you probably know, is my favourite game of all time. They've just got rid of the priests, they've got rid of workers, and they've got rid of the cult tracks. Boiled it down to a very simple game, with 4 of us played, 3 obviously new, and the person demoing the game also played 4-player. It took about 60 minutes, which was perfect. Exactly what I wanted from this game, and I immediately bought it. How to play video coming soon. The next game I played was Challenges. This is one was high up on my list to play, and what this was is it plays up to 8 players, and it's like a little tournament game where you manage this deck. You collect cards to build this deck out every round, and you play against one of the other players every round, so you end up playing everyone. So we played 4 players, so we played everyone twice, and I played one person 3 times, and then whoever's got the most points, because when you win a game you get points, and whoever's got the 2 players with the most points at the end plays like a grand final, and the winner of that game wins the game. And I love the idea of it. You're playing like this mini tournament. The only problem is the deck itself, the deck that you make out of these cards, it plays itself. So you reveal a card. If it's a 4, you get the flag because it's a capture the flag like game. Then you basically just reveal cards from your deck until your power of your total command cards makes 4 or more, and that's the only way to do it. You are drafting cards into your deck. You do get to draw several and pick one of them, so you can sort of craft a theme and sort of build a strategy in your deck, and the deck with the best strategy did win, which is good, which is what you want from this kind of game. But I think it's too light, and I don't think I'm going to get people to play it too often, and I think a lot of people who play it once probably won't want to play it again. And the final game I played was a surprise. It was Heat, Pedal to the Metal from Days of Wonder, and it's a racing game, and basically it's just like a little deck builder, a bit like Flang Rouge, where you're playing cards to move and cycling through your deck, but you've got this heat resource to manage, which is a card, and you need that heat resource to gear up and down. You get to gear up and down once free each round. You've got 1, 2, 3 or 4 gears, which means you have to play 1, 2, 3 or 4 movement cards. But if you're going too fast, if you're in too high a gear going into a corner, you're going to probably move faster than you're allowed, which means you need to spend heat cards to make the difference. So if the corner is a max limit of 3, and if you move into it 7, you need to be able to play 4 heat, and you've only got 6 heat total, and that goes into your deck, and the only way to get that back out your hand is to drive in a lower gear so that you can discard them back into your available pile so you can use them later. That was very good. I was very surprised. And now it's time for me to go in on Friday. I'm going to try and play the Wolves. Let's see if I can get the Wolves played early on day 2. It's Saturday morning and the deer are chilling. But of course there's going to be anything but chill Saturday morning. You have a lot of families come in who don't take time off in the week to come. They come in the morning. Then you have a lot of people who are just coming to buy games and not taking time off work, so they'll come Saturday morning with their big suitcases and luggage trolleys and stuff and fill it up. So it's going to be really busy in the morning till about 2 o'clock, then it just empties out. So I'm going to try and play a game first thing in the morning. I tried to play Wolves yesterday, I didn't manage it. I managed to get to play Yak, which is a really fun game, fun looking game. Look how cute this game looks, where you're filling a Yak's trolley up with bricks and you're moving them around the table to each other, passing them around to each other, and you're using resources to buy them. But some Yaks don't like different resources. One is vegan, so doesn't accept meat. One is lactose intolerant, so doesn't accept milk. And the other is gluten intolerant, so doesn't accept bread. So you need to plan what resources you've got, looking at which Yaks are coming to you, so you can buy the bricks, and the bricks will score you points for different groups and stuff, and that's good fun. Also there's fog cards that turn the Yaks around, so even though you might have planned, the Yaks might not go in the right direction by the time your plans come to fruition, which is good fun. Then sticking with Plan B Games, who had, by the way, they had the best system for getting games. They had an entrance, you group you up. As soon as there was 4 people who wanted to play Yak in English, we then went to play Yak, and that's how it should be, and that's what they did with Maui as well, which is the next game I played, which is basically you're putting towels down on a board on the beach, and if you match the picture on the towel on the previous one you placed, you get points depending on how far away from the centre it is, and most points at the end win. It was fine. It's from the same company that made Azul, and Azul is just a better pattern matching game, so I would just play that. And I played Lockdown. Not really the name of a game you want to play in 2022, is it? We're still not over the actual lockdowns we've had, but this is sort of a zombie infestation game where you've got, it's a negotiation and strategy game where you're sort of moving around, hidden movement around these different rooms. There's different zombies going to attack. Some people know when the zombies are coming, what rooms they're going to, and they can lie or be honest about where they're going. And you're basically trying to get as many of your family to survive towards the end. It's heavily based on negotiation, and I played with 5 people who are speaking French most of the game, so I missed out on a lot of that, but I did manage to enjoy it anyway. It's good fun. It'd be really good with lots of players, because you can really stab people in the back, and it's only 45 minutes long as well, which is good. So they've got English copies in today, and I might pick it up, we'll see. Another game I played was very interesting. It's King of Monster Island. This is the King of Tokyo co-op game. So this one big monster is coming to destroy the world, and you don't want the world to be destroyed because you want to be able to go around all these different cities like Tokyo and New York and destroy them. So you don't want them to win, so you group together to defeat this big bad, and it was really difficult. And basically he kicked her ass from turn 1 and then won. It was very hard, but it's very fun. It's my new favourite version of King of Tokyo. I like this co-op version. So that is a roundup of what I played on Friday. Saturday I'm going to try and play the Wolves again first off, because all the Wolves tables were full yesterday, so I'm going to try that straight away. If that doesn't work, I'm going to go and play a different game from Horrible Games that I can't remember the name of, The Great Split. I'm going to try and play that. And then the morning, I'm not even going to try and play a game. It's not worth it. I've tried. I've got years of experience in knowing that you don't get to play games on Saturday if you want to. So I'll just use the time to do this vlog. So also what I want to do as well is review all the halls. So let's go.
Okay, I'm going to overdub this from the future because I didn't take my microphone. It was a bit muffly behind the mask, but this is Hall 3. It is what I consider to be the main hall. It's the first one you walk into from the main entrance. When I think of Essen, I think of this hall. It has lots of big publishers, as you can see from the video. It's always very busy, but it's always something to play. It was the hall I played the most games in this year, and it is my favourite of all the halls. I really enjoy Hall 3. And the Galleria, and it's quite a calm day. You know what this is like on Saturday, you can't walk through it, but this is where you come for your food. There is so many food options, it is amazing. I love being in there. And this year, I've never seen this before, this was food trucks outside, and you'll just see coming up on the right, tucked away in the corner, is the best place to buy coffee. Get all your coffee from that little shack there. Hall 2 is always an unusual one for me. Not only are the aisles very misaligned so that you can't go up and down or zigzag it very easily because they're always off centre, but it's a really weird mix. It's got Pandasaurus, so it's got some big games. It's got Board and Dice, who are doing very heavy games. And then there's Konami, who's doing Yu-Gi-Oh! And then there's a Pokemon Centre as well. And it's such a weird mix between the very commercial companies and the very heavy Euro companies, mixed in as well with a lot of retailers selling, such as Ultra Pro and Ultimate Guard and things like that, who are selling sleeves and dice bags and stuff. It is a very unusual haul, but I still like it. I just think it feels weird to me. Hall 1 is an unusual hall. I always get it mixed up with Hall 2. If something's in Hall 1, I need to find it. I'll always have to try and remember which is the difference between Hall 1 and Hall 2. But Hall 1 is very good. It has CGE, Bezier, Funforge, Artipia, has a lot of big companies. As you can see, Folded Space are there. Tends to be where Asmodee and Come On and a lot of those companies are as well, which is really good. It's a really nice hall. Again, the floor plan is very disjointed and there is a lot of wasted space. There's a lot of large areas that are just panels with adverts on where there could have been tables and stuff. But it's a very good hall and I have very positive feelings towards this hall because you usually get to play a lot of good games in there. So I have a real soft spot for Hall 4 because not only is it the first hall they expanded out when I went for my second ever Essen, so instead of halls 1, 2 and 3 it's 1, 2, 3 and 4, which means it has got that special feel to it that will never go. It's also where a lot of the Asian publishers go, so you always get those nice games that you don't see anywhere else and you won't be able to buy anywhere else, so it's always good to have a look at those. But as you can see, it is starting to get a bit towards the cheaper end of the spectrum. Lots of white walls and panels with people not spending the money on big double-sided exhibit stalls, which I don't blame them for either. But yeah, Hall 4 is always good fun. Hall 5 expanded out a few years ago and it is pretty good. It's very random. You get a lot of small indie publishers in here with really nice booths, and there's a bit of a mix where you have some of the larger companies as well, some of the smaller big companies, if that makes sense, who drop down from halls 1, 2 and 3 into Hall 5. Hall 5 is always really good fun. You're going to see a lot of really fun games, a lot of unique games, and also a lot of booths that sell nice little knickknacks and gaming accessories and things like that. So Hall 5 is always worth spending time in, and it also has the best toilets. You just need to find them, and I'm going to tell you where they are. And finally, Hall 6 is a lot of role-play games, miniatures games, RPGs, and it's kind of the things that I'm not into, so I usually have a good look around. There's always interesting stuff to see, especially if you're into all that stuff. But apart from that, I just have one look round and then tend to leave it for the rest of the show. Nice and peaceful Sunday morning. The deer are quite active today. I think they've been fed or haven't been fed yet. So having a lovely calm Sunday morning. As am I today, because I got here 45 minutes early because all the shops are shut, so I couldn't get breakfast because it's Sunday. And even Aldi was closed, which is not something I'm used to on a Sunday, being from UK. But yesterday I said I was going to go straight for the Great Split, and I did. I went straight to the Great Split and the table next to it and played Evergreen, which is a game, if you remember, photosynthesis from a few years ago with cardboard trees, and you're gaining sunlight. And this is the similar sort of thing, but wood, and you're growing these trees up to gain sunlight, and you're drafting cards to build in different areas on your planet, which give you bonus actions, allow you to build bushes and things like that. And you're trying to get big areas of trees planted together. You're trying to capture that sunlight. And also the card that isn't drafted goes into a pile, which will then determine scoring for the different areas of the earth. And that was really good fun. Tempted, might pick that one up today. That was very good. Then I did play the Great Split straight afterwards. Stood up, turned around, sat down at a different table. Played the Great Split, which is a nice split you choose game where you have a number of cards and you divide them in however well you choose. You put them in a little envelope, you pass them to the player on your left, and you take an envelope from the player on your right. You take one side of that split, whichever one you want. You keep those in front of you. You put the cards back in the envelope, give it back to the player on your right, and then the player on your left will have picked half of the card you give them, and then they'll give you the back ones they didn't pick, and the ones you picked that you're left with, the ones that you ended up with, are the ones that you're going to move up on these different tracks, and they're all worth different points at the end of the game. This again was really good fun. Horrible Gamers Guild, can't remember what they're called still. 2 good games there from them. By the time I finished that, it was 20 past 11, and it was that Saturday really busy time on the Saturday, so I just went around, took a load of video, and I had a look at a lot of stuff. And then in the afternoon I got to play the Farm Club, and this is a nice little family game where you are drafting different cards which have scoring on, so maybe you need to have more sheep than cows in your farm, or you need to have a duck next to a chicken, for example, to be able to score. And on that card is an animal, and you put that animal in one of those spaces on your farm. You're basically just trying to draft the cards that are going to give you the points, along with the animals that are going to score you those points, and you're trying to arrange those animals in your 9-square farm to try and get as many points as possible. And this was another very simple, very fun game, really nice little meeples. Really enjoyed that. And then after that I played that game. I can't pronounce it. And I haven't got it in front of me, so I can't even attempt to pronounce it. But this was another really good game where you're drafting cards which give you an action. These actions let you fight monsters on your world. They let you build buildings on your world to give you abilities. They let you gain soldiers and let you gain the resource, these gem resource, which is the name of the game, which, as I've established, I can't pronounce. And on top of that card that you draft is also a tile, and you place those tiles into your world to build up the different terrains, and you're trying to basically score 5 points. First one to score 5 points wins, and you do that where you can buy a point by spending 5 of that resource. You can build a temple thing, which you have to arrange 4 different landscape territory things and build on top of that with the build action. And you can also, if you arrange 3 or more of the same terrain type together, you can draft a god tile, and that counts as a point while you've got it, but they can be stolen off you, so they're just temporary points.
Again, another very fun game. They were both from BlackRock Games, I think. I think Farm Club was BAM, but they're all on the same table, so count them as the same. But yeah, so played 4 good games yesterday, 4 good games Friday, 3 good games on Thursday, and today's Sunday, which is usually very busy first thing and then dies for the rest of the day, but it does close an hour earlier, so we've got that. But I'm looking forward to today, so let's see what I play. Something funny just happened. They just stopped me going in because I was wearing my purple mask, and I've wore it for the last 3 days and nobody said anything. And now suddenly today they're stopping people going in without a medical grade mask, and I didn't bring one with me. Luckily I managed to get one from the press centre, so thank you to them over there. But nearly had to wait 45 minutes to get in and then just go home back to the hotel anyway, so very lucky. Sorry for the view, I know this is a bit plain, bit of airport humour there. Speaking a bit quietly because it's really quiet. I'm in the departure lounge at Dusseldorf Airport, so it's like really quiet. I'm very self-conscious about what I'm talking about, so hopefully you can hear me. I'm going to go through the games I played on Sunday. I only played 3. And then I left early because my back was hurting and my feet were hurting, so I just left. So the 3 games I played were all really good. I didn't play one bad game the whole time I was there. So I started off with Flamecraft, which is a worker placement game where you're placing dragons in buildings to get resources that you can cash in to complete these gold cards for points. And it was very good, very cute. As you can see from the components, it all looks really nice. The artwork's really nice. The whole thing had sold out. They had deluxe editions, they had normal editions. They all sold out on the day. It's not one I'd buy anyway, because I don't think... I mean, there's a lot of these Euros, isn't there, where you gain resources to do a thing, to do another thing. This one did it in a really good way, just didn't interest me that much. Next one I played was Powerline from Queen Games, which is basically a roll and write, really. Multiplayer solitaire roll and write, as the 3 German gentlemen I played with said. And basically you have these dice, you roll these 6 coloured dice, you have these 6 coloured meeples, and you place them on the numbers on your board in order, either from left to right or right to left, and you have to try and make them match. But you can only, the problem is you can only play a number of meeples a certain number of times. So you can only play 5 meeples I think 3 times throughout the game, or 6 meeples twice throughout the game, which means sometimes you have to only play 2 or 3, or 1, 2 or 3 when you want to play more. And you can't, especially late game when you've used your bigger numbers, using your smaller numbers, and it just left all of us feeling a bit meh at the end. But the idea of the game itself, and the fact that it is a roll and write game without a pen and paper, so it is a carbon neutral game, is really good. It's nice. It's a green energy theme, not much theme to it, but it was cool. That's Powerline. And finally I played the only game that had an empty table on the Sunday, was Legend. I can't remember what it's called. There's the front cover of the box, Legend Raiders or something. On this you roll a die, and that will either turn your torch face up or face down. It'll flip it to whatever it was. It'll either give you a point for doing something during the round, which I'll get to in a bit. But anyway, after rolling the dice and resolving it, you draft a tile with a goal on it and some little tokens that you need to complete the goal. So you're drafting these little round tokens. When you've got enough, you can then, instead of drafting the tokens of the card, you can then cash in your tokens to score one of the tiles which goes in front of you. You get a number of points. Like I say, if you rolled the point scoring thing on the die, you get a bonus point. You got points for spaces available, which is interesting. You could hold up to 3 of these point scoring tiles, but for each one you hold, you're covering a point. So when you cash one in, you get fewer points for it, which I quite like that. I thought that was really good. The rest of the game was fairly standard, but it played very quickly and was decent fun. And so yeah, my spiel ends here. Even though I only played 14 games, I didn't really play a stinker. Sometimes I'll play 20, 30 games. I think 25 is the most I played in a 4-day weekend at Essen, and I'll probably come away with 10 of them are games that I would never play again. All of these, while I wouldn't buy, I bought 2. I bought Evergreen and I bought Terra of the 2 that I've played. But of the games that I've played, there's none that I'd refuse to play again. If somebody brought them to a game day, I'd be happy to play any of them, including Powerline, including Legend Raiders, whatever it was called, because it was all good. And even though while I was walking around and all the tables were full and it was busy and it was just annoying because I couldn't get any games played, I really wanted to play some games, as many as possible. And all the time thinking this is frustrating and I wish I could just play more games. I want to play 20, 30, 40 games. And I was on the way home on Sunday and I got blisters on my feet and my back was killing me and I couldn't barely walk, and whenever I sneezed or coughed it really hurt. All the time I was thinking, can't wait to go again next year. And I definitely will.
And that was me done for the weekend. I had a lovely time, as I've just mentioned, and it was something I'm definitely going to do again next year. We had a nice little night flight. Look at that, always looks better at night. Taking off from Dusseldorf, looked awesome at night. Landed in Birmingham, looked amazing as well. And then I was home by 10 PM in bed and up for work the next morning. All good. So if you like this video, remember to like, share and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter, Insta, Twitch and YouTube at JestaThaRogue. Follow the blog with all the reviews for all the games I've played at JestaThaRogue.com. Don't forget how to play video for Terra Nova, which was come out 2 weeks for this blog, and how to play Evergreen will come out at the end of the month. This comes out in November. So yeah, I'll see you all next October.